I made some hot chocolate as usual, but I made the water too hot, so I have to wait to drink it. So that kind of sucks. Okay, like always, I have to decide if I want to like start right away or if I want to wait. I guess I could have just kept the waiting screen going, but I don't know. We started, so there's no going back now, I guess. I didn't check the audio. I'm kind of done with the audio, TBH. I need to redraw my thingamajiggy. My waiting screen. I could make like an actual one, I guess. If I wanted to. Anyway, blah blah blah. This is like the third stream in a row where I've had Green Room playing. It's fine. I'm just waiting till I can drink my hot chocolate, honestly, cause I need my voice to be prepped. It's not good if I can't drink it. Okay, ow. Immediately burns my tongue. Should I just get started? I don't know. Cause I do kind of want to like introduce what this is for the uninitiated. I guess people might watch this as a VOD. I've personally done that. Yeah. I'm vaguely aware of what's actually in here, because I watched people go through it to like an extent, so I know kinda what's in here. But yeah, it's very big. It's very long. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get through the whole thing in this stream. I mean, I'm probably not gonna go into like every theory super in depth, because like they probably don't all deserve the like an equal amount of attention. I would say. Okay. Blah, blah, blah. When I do shit like this, I just have to think of it as like I'm recording a video or something. So I think I'll get started in like a second. Almost 10 minutes this stream has been going. That doesn't feel right. But I guess I should really get going. Okay, I have like a million things open. I have the thing here on my computer. That's what I'm gonna be going through. And then I have it on my iPad as well. Because like a lot of these are taken from videos. And like I may or may not have seen them. If I have seen them, I just might not like remember it. Anyway, like the point is it gives you like a summary for each one, and I might need to like jog my memory for some of them. So yeah, I'm doing I'm doing it on like 2 different screens. But anyway, okay. Do I need to go over this? I don't know. It's basically just saying like it is like a ranking thing. And you're supposed to rate it based off how much you like it. And they say how much you like it could mean different things to different people, which I think is fair. I think like whether I rate it based off like how likely it is versus how much I like it is gonna depend on the theory itself. So like, you know, we'll get to that when we get to it, I think. Is there anything else here? Yeah, I should say spoilers, but that's kind of obvious, I think. Okay. I know the first page is like, alright, okay. I need to remember to do it twice, technically. Did I do this before? I think I did this before on my personal account. Because it's already checked off. Okay, so yeah, this first page is basically just like canon things. Like, as it says, they're so popular, they're treated as fact, even if there is a 1% chance it's not. I would say like all of this shit is basically just canon. I've looked through this. It's like, okay. I mean, let's start from the top. Darkeners are objects brought to life. It's basically just like what's directly shown in the game. I feel like there isn't any reason to argue against this, like just in general, because like yeah, it's not even a theory, it's just it's like a starting off point for other theories, I would say, but like that's how it is, you know. And then T theory I think is basically, yeah, like everything this is saying is canon. Just I guess not in any chapters past 2. Yeah, do I need to say anything else about the tea? I included a tea bag in the thumbnail for this stream because I couldn't really think of anything else to put. But I think that is just canon. Okay. Birdley is dead after Snowgrave theory is like kind of more divisive, I think, than some of these other ones. Because there is, like, right now there is no like verifiable way we can know Birdly is dead or not. Like, there is a chance, I want to say there is a chance he's alive, but like I'm more, if he's not dead, I'm more inclined to think that he is in some sort of like, I don't even know how to describe it, like some sort of like in-between state, like in between dead and alive, I suppose. I'm not sure. I mean, like, I've seen other people talk about it, but all that being said, I feel like it's safe to assume that he's dead. I'll give this like a 9. I just think like it would cheapen the impact of Snowgrave if he wasn't dead, you know? So like, yeah. I'll give it a 9 cuz like blah blah blah, all this stuff I said. And then Gaster is Mystery Man. Right, okay. Some of these are more like Undertale adjacent, I would say. Like, this stuff specifically is like mostly just Undertale stuff. Although I do basically just believe this. Yes, it's like it's another thing where it's like technically we don't know if Gaster's the Mystery Man sprite, but like he probably is. It's just like it's so widely accepted that it would be weird if he wasn't. So yeah. And then Gaster is the person in the opening theory. Blah blah blah. I was going through my other screen. Okay. What was I gonna say? It's canon. I think. Right. So this is like more, I mean, it's obviously more deltarune adjacent. Do I need to say anything else? Like, okay, I forgot how to talk or what I was gonna say about this. I just like I don't find any reason to argue against this in particular. I think there's like some grounds for arguing against like Gaster's involvement in like other things, but like this is pretty, I think this is pretty apparent. So yeah, and then okay, like I just said, blah blah blah. Gaster is the person who drew up the secret boss is insane. I feel like is basically canon. What was I gonna say? I think like the one like counterpoint is that if like, I mean, what is this like specifically saying here? Okay, I mean like the counterpoint I was gonna bring up is like if the person who contacted Spamton specifically was Image Friend, who like technically isn't Gaster himself, but like is certainly connected to him. So like there is that. Although I do personally think that it was just Gaster for both of them. So I don't know, I think I'll give it like a 9 just because of that. Just because I think that maybe it was Image Friend for one of them, but even then, Image Friend is obviously connected to Gaster, and it was probably doing it off of like Gaster's like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, I don't know, like Image Friend was doing it for Gaster probably is what I think I mean. Okay. How much do I care? I mean, all of this shit is basically canon, as the category says. So, like, I feel like if any of them turned out to not be canon, that wouldn't make sense. So I feel like I should care about it. And then how much knowledge do I have? It's pretty surface level, I would say. So I would say I have a lot of knowledge. Okay, ow. I just realized I can't see the bottom of the screen well. Okay. Alright. I'm gonna just try to get through as much as I can. Okay, hot chocolate break. It is at a comfortable temperature now. Anyway, okay, so these are big theories, as it says. Yeah. Okay, the first one. Okay, I see. I saw that there were a few Undertale ones. I was a little confused about that. Because I was like, how much Undertale stuff is going to be in here? I don't really... I obviously don't have a problem with that. With the blah blah. I can't talk. I'm just like... My brain is more focused on Deltarune right now. So I feel like I'm not as prepared to talk about Undertale. But anyway. Yeah, we'll get to that when we get to it. First of all, chess theory. Wow. Okay. Sorry. I have thoughts on chess theory. I think I've seen like the actual video that someone did. If I did, it's probably been a while. That's why I don't really like remember exactly what the video said. I'm trying to explain I'm trying to like think how I can explain my thoughts on chess theory, because it's not just like, okay, I don't agree with everything that chess theory says, like specifically some of like the later conclusions, but I feel like okay, like the the bottom line I agree with. I definitely think there is like a chess motif in general in the game. Like it would be weird to use terms like king, queen, and knight and not have a chess motif happening. So like I definitely think there is like something going on with chess. It's like, and then like not to mention like the actual chess shit in chapter 1. But what was I gonna say? I don't necessarily agree with like these last two or these last three, or that there is like a specific order aside from like these first four, because like these first four seem pretty confirmed at this point, especially Bishop. It's just, yeah, Tenna is kind of an outlier right now. I feel like that kind of like puts a wrench in it, if I'm using that term correctly. Um, I'm kind of a Tennessee Rook believer myself. Um, my thoughts here are not organized. I hope you can understand me anyway. Basically, like this specific chess theory, I would give like a 7, do I want to say? Maybe 8? I don't know. I think if I am like remembering correctly, it posits that player, that ourselves are like the final boss, and I don't know how I feel about that necessarily, so I think that's like a big problem I have with this theory. If that is what this theory ends on, because I honestly don't remember. I don't really remember it. That might not be true. Yeah, I'll give it a 7. Like, it's still like pretty believable, I think. And then what if it turned out it was true? Like, I wouldn't be surprised. Like I said, I think there's like a ton of setup for it. It's just like like how it relates to the later aspects of the game. I'm like kinda questionable about it, but like overall, it's like it's pretty clear, I think. Okay, this next one. Oh goodness. Let me hydrate. Okay. So I kind of have a problem with how this is like worded or formatted here, because I don't agree with this part, but I don't really have a problem with this part. Like, I think I talked about this on stream already. Like the idea that like a potential chapter 3, like actual weird route in the dark world, would revolve around like, you know, yeah, like focusing on like Toriel's overprotectiveness. That's not like a horrible idea, I think. But like, do I think Toriel will kill Undyne? No. I think like there are multiple problems with that, but like I don't know how to answer this, cause like I do think that the weird route is going to continue throughout the game, and I do think it is like possible that there will be a weird route in the dark world in chapter 3. So it's like I believe in that part, but I don't believe in this part. So like I'm just gonna go with like specifically what it's asking. I'm gonna say this is a 3. Like, I just, yeah, this this wouldn't happen. It would be disappointing, I think. Like, I feel like the problems with it are pretty obvious, but yeah, okay. And now, choosing between Ralph or Noel theory. I've definitely heard of this, but it's not something that I've like thought of quite extensively. Yeah, exactly. It would be with this one, it would be what's the word I'm looking for? Repetitive, I guess, for one thing. But anyway, okay, about this. Have I seen this video? I'm not sure. Okay, have I seen? I don't think I've seen this actually. This video specifically. For some reason, I didn't think that clicking on a video would take me away from my own thing that I'm watching to monitor my stream. Anyway, so yeah, this comes from the line about the mage leaving the party in Dragon Blazers. I definitely think that could be like foreshadowing for something that happens. Because I do think Dragon Blazers is like, what's the word for it? Like, it's meant to be foreshadowing for the game itself, I think. What's the like exact word I'm looking for? It's like self-referential, maybe? I don't know. But yeah, like specifically about having to choose between Ross or Noel. I mean, what does that even like mean necessarily? Like, I think that like we're gonna like swap between having Ross and Noel in the party because we've already done that. But like, I don't know. I think I just don't. I mean, I haven't seen this video, I think. I'm pretty sure the line about the mage leaving is from the game itself. I could be remembering wrong. Oh my gosh, wait, the Ice Palace page isn't about the mage leaving, is it? Shit. Should I have... Fuck, maybe I should have like reread Ice Palace. I'm pretty sure Ice Palace is about... Fuck, I thought Ice Palace is about the sister, not the mage. Okay, anyway. I mean, that doesn't really matter for this, I think. Shit, my lore. Yeah, right. But, oh my god, am I gonna have to pull up Ice Palace? I know... Okay, I think... Yeah, I know it involves, like, being... like... in a maze of sorts. Okay, anyway. Is this important for this though? Not really, I think. How do I feel about choosing between Ross or Noel? Like, I just like... I don't understand like what exactly this like posits and like what it means for this story. I just think like, I don't know. I think we'll get to like, I don't know. What am I trying to say? We're gonna get to have Rose in the party and have Noelle in the party. And it's probably not gonna like be a big deal choosing sides. Right, okay, I guess so. How do I feel about this then? Yeah, I have a feeling this video was made a while ago. When was it made? Let me look. Basically almost 3 years ago. Okay. That's kind of an exaggeration, but yeah, that's true too. Okay, I should have like properly prepared for this because I honestly don't know how to feel about this one. I'm just gonna stick with 5 and then I'm gonna say I would not mind. I need to like think of like what exactly this means. Cause like I feel like I've also heard elements of it in other theories that I've like generally agreed with. So yeah, okay. Anyway, moving on. Weird words only happen when Noelle's in the dark world. Okay, I kind of touched on this. I'm gonna take like weird roots, like the wording of weird roots here to be like shit that happens in the dark world specifically. And like, okay, I do agree with like the fact that Noelle is like a very central figure to the weird root in general. And like, you know, yeah, like all this stuff about the video game secrets, glitches, etc., whatever her thing is. What was I gonna say? But like, I don't think it's impossible that there could be like other weird-ish roots that can happen in other chapters. Kind of like what I was talking about with Torio. Like, I don't think it's very likely, but I don't think it's impossible. Exactly. Jockington grows the evil beard, of course. That's what it is. I mean, like, oh my gosh, that's the thing though. Imagine like a dark world. What was it? No, that's not what I wanted to say. Imagine a weird root in the chapter 4 dark world. I feel like that would be crazy. Because I feel like the chapter 4 dark world is just gonna be crazy on its own. And like pretty lore heavy. So anyway, how do I feel about this specifically? I'd say like a 7 or 8. I'm gonna say an 8. I think, again, going with that, this is like only referring to dark world shit, because like I do think the weirder is obviously gonna continue in the light world. It just wouldn't make sense for it not to, because like shit has changed, you know? I talked about this before a bit, but like you have like Noelle saying that she's gonna figure out what's going on with Chris, and I feel like that's a huge setup, you know? And that only happens in the weird route, so like there has to be a payoff for that, you know? But yeah, anyway. I'll say I would not be surprised, because yeah, it does seem like the direction that it's going in. Okay, this next one's a little interesting, but okay. I've definitely heard this one before, but like I don't believe it. But the only reason I don't believe it is just because of like, you know, like timing and stuff, just like meta, you know, development stuff. Like, this is a cool idea, and it like makes sense with everything somewhat, but I just feel like Spamton wasn't conceived as a character that far back, especially with like, you know, his connection to Gaster and all that. And yeah, just Spamton existing as far back as like, you know, well, as late as like 2015, I guess, just doesn't seem very plausible to me. But like if that wasn't a problem, this would make a lot of sense. I do think I'm gonna have to put it at 4 though. Yeah, I do like to think that whoever it was, whoever was calling could have been talking about Gaster. That's kind of a fun idea, because it is a fun event and everything. Yeah, like Spamton seems like a relatively new character, I'm pretty sure. Like, I know technically deltarune existed before. I'm well aware of that, but like Spamton specifically, probably not that old. So yeah, what do I even say? I'll say it would be confusing, I guess. If only for the fact that it just doesn't make sense with timing. Okay, this one. Chapter intros are flashbacks. Yeah. I think this like not only, but like it does mainly come from the Undertale plot twist, and like I know more of what this is talking about, but I'm not sure how I feel about this one as well. Are we counting like the Goner Maker sequence as an intro? That would be kind of important to know, but like, I guess just talking about the chapter 2 intro. I mean, yeah, that's a good point. That it's like very much, it's very much just for like the chapter 2 intro to be like taken from like a serious tense moment in actuality. Okay, like, yeah, I get where this is coming from, definitely, because like what it's saying is that it's been done before. It's been done in Undertale. Like, it could be the case in Deltarune. Yeah, I was literally just about to mention the unused one too. That's kinda, that is something. That definitely seems like it takes place at like a different time. So that is something. Okay. I'll give it a 6. I do think that unused intro helps this a lot, although it is unused. So like, there is that, but yeah, this has precedent, I think. I also feel like we're like too early in the game to like really judge what this could mean for the story. And just like, you know, in general, like, blah blah blah, everything. Okay, yeah, so like, yeah, it's decently credible, I would say. I wouldn't be surprised, I would say. Have I? Okay, I keep forgetting to go to follow along with my thing. What did I say for the what did I say for this? 4. Okay. Okay. Universal Mother Theory is something. Okay. I have seen the video for this. What this like specific theory posits is that like Queen, instead of like just being a parallel to Noelle's mother, is like also a parallel to all of the Lightner's mothers in some way. And I feel like that could be true, maybe, but like there are some problems with it, I think. Wow, I have to hydrate. I'm talking a lot. True. Okay. What was I gonna say? Okay. Like, on a base level, I obviously believe that Queen is a parallel to Noelle's mother slash the mayor. I think like the glaring problem I have with this is Susie and her relationship to Queen, because Queen likes Susie. You know, like there's not even like a smidge of like disliking. I think that's not like, you know, just kind of like how she treats everyone. Like, and like, yeah, the problem with that is that I think that Susie's parents are probably not that great. And like, it would be weird if Susie's mother treated her similar to Queen. And even though Queen is like not a great person, I think that she treats Susie pretty well. So, yeah. And then like, I'm thinking about like Chris and Birdley even. Birdley we can't really like say anything about because we don't know, I mean technically we don't really know like anything at all about Birdley's parents. But for Chris, it's like, I mean Queen obviously likes Chris too. She kind of says so. But like, it's not, I feel like it's not the same relationship as Toriel. So I don't know. All in all, I feel like I don't know. I feel like this theory is kind of only valid when it's talking about Noelle, and that would kind of it would basically discredit the whole theory, because like that's not what the theory is talking about. So I kind of want to give it a low rating. I don't hate this theory at all, but like big parts of it don't make a lot of sense. Oh, the drinking stuff. That's true. Yeah, that kind of helps this, TBH, because I feel like Queen's drinking is like only talked about when she's with Chris. It's just Susie. Susie's the problem with this. I'll give it a 5. What should I say? I don't know. I'll say other. I'll just say parts of it don't add up. Okay. Okay. Memory heads in Undertale Foreshadow Deltarune. I'm trying to remember if I've actually seen this video or not. It was a Half-Bred Chaos video. Okay. I've seen this. I just don't really remember what it says. Shit, should I like... Which lines specifically does this video talk about? Um, I mean, I think the memory ads are weird in comparison to the other amalgamates. Like, I think that they could possibly not even be amalgamates. Is that talked about in this theory? I forgot. It's been a while, I think, since I've seen this video. I'm pretty sure I've seen it, though. Okay, I'm trying to like go through this video without sound on. I don't know. Okay, like it's not out of the question, I'd say, like compared to the Spamton thing. I think that like there's definitely foreshadowing for Deltarune and Undertale just in general, because like I said, it was in development first, so like it's possible. And like especially with the True Lab and all that jazz, I think there's some like Deltarune stuff going on. But I feel like I'm not able to judge this fairly, because I honestly forgot what this video even talks about necessarily. I think I'll give this a 6. I'm trying to remember like what the memory heads even say. I know they say like blah blah blah. I don't know. Is it important? I mean, yeah, I guess so, but I don't know what to say about this one. I'm sure it makes sense. I've seen this video too. Whatever. Okay, I'll just give it a 6. And I'll say I wouldn't be surprised. Okay, this next one. Is this even like a theory? I guess so. Apparently. I mean, okay, I feel like I kind of call her Carol out of like convenience, cause like that does seem like a very likely option. I've also seen Clarice. I think I've seen Comet, and for a while I didn't even get where that came from until recently, really. I was like, oh yeah. I would also really like if it was Clarice, because like I really like the Rudolph movie. That was like one of the first movies I've ever seen. Kind of unrelated. It would be cool, is what I'm saying. But this is talking about Carol specifically. It makes sense. It makes a lot of sense. Yeah. It fits. But at the end of the day, it's just like not that important. I'm kind of surprised that this is even on here. Oh my gosh, the next theory is just called Rudy will die. I mean, yeah, that is like, this is like an actual point of discussion. And like, honestly, I don't even really know how to feel about this. Cause like, it's like, it seems pretty obvious that he'll die, but it's like to the point where it's like, it's so obvious that he might not die. But like, yeah. I mean, personally, I also like, I do think that like, I do think Noelle is gonna make a dark fountain at some point, and I feel like Rudy dying will be like a really, you know, obvious catalyst for that happening. So it's like, I don't know, cause what else could even happen that like pushes Noelle over the edge? Cause she's pretty like, she's like, oh yeah, making a dark fountain would be kind of bad. At the end of chapter 2. I mean, I guess she's just talking about like the roaring specifically, but I don't know. I mean, it can only go in 2 ways. I would agree with Des. Yeah, I'd agree with that, but I feel like, I don't know, I feel like she's already like processed mostly her grief. So it's like, I don't know. What's gonna happen? What was the other thing I was gonna say? Oh yeah, he's dead in Undertale. There is that. I don't know. What do I say? I'll go with 5 because it really is like a 50-50 thing. I think just even like narratively. What would I think if Rudy died? I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised, I guess. Okay. We'll get to explore more of the town. What is this specifically talking about? Because like it's pretty obvious we'll get to explore more of the town. It even mentions Noelle's house here, and that's like basically confirmed. Okay, but it does I can't talk. It talks about, this talks about like how yeah, the police tape stuff, but also like how what am I trying to say, like the roads, they don't like match up, so there's like more, or like there could be more of the town that is just like not shown, and like we'll eventually get to go to that, perhaps. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I do think we're gonna go past the police tape to an extent, because like there is gonna be the festival and everything, and like that's probably gonna like I assume it'd be pretty big. I don't know. Yeah, like I don't really, what do I even say about this? It's just like, yeah, probably. It'd be good. It'd be more content at the very least. Okay, this next one. Lancer is the 3rd hero in the legend. Okay. Like, the way this is worded is like, this sounds stupid. I don't really know like what specifically this is referring to, because I've heard people say that like Lancer could be the prince in the legend, and I just don't agree with that part. But yeah, like this part about him saying he's the teardrop headed kid, like, yeah, like there is literally a teardrop headed kid who is like definitely Lancer in the legend, just not like, he's just not one of the heroes, he's just like in there, you know. So like that's what he was referring to. So I don't know, I don't really like the idea that Lancer could like possibly be very important. That sounds so mean. I love Lancer, he's my son, but I don't know, just the idea that like they're pulling like a bait and switch with Lancer and Ralsei just doesn't make a lot of sense. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, clearly I think Lancer is gonna be in like every chapter at least. Like he'll probably go to a lot of the Dark Worlds, if not all of them. So there is that, but like, I don't know, anything beyond that, anything beyond like being super important is like, why, you know? Birdly levels of importance. Exactly. That's basically what he is. I mean, the Dark Prince is clearly Ralsei is the thing. So, yeah, anyway. This next one. Is he a Dark Prince? I feel like he is directly referred to as such. I know he is referred to... He's referred to as a lonely prince. Prince of Darkness. And a dark world being. So like, you know. I don't know. Blah blah blah. Anyway. This next one. I'm like actually pretty partial to this idea that the weird root could like end quote unquote on a soft lock. I feel like, I don't know, logistically I'm like, how is this gonna work exactly? But like thematically, this is a pretty good idea. I think. Yeah. You lost it when you tried to see it too far. What else can I say about this? Like, it makes sense. Like, considering that the weird root is all about like trying to break the game. Ultimately, if like the ultimate consequence for doing that is being soft locked, it would make complete sense, I think. Yeah. I just think, yeah, like the only the only problems are like the logistical ones, I think. And just like the fact that I can't like exactly picture how this would go down. But like in theory, I think this could be very good. So, I'll give it an 8, I think. It's pretty high, but ooh, Oblivion Theory. Okay. I have to hydrate again. Okay. Oblivion Theory. I've read, or I've like skimmed most of the original document, I think. I'm pretty sure they wrote like a new version. I don't think I've read that. Basically, I do agree with like a lot of Oblivion Theory, but there are some things where I'm like kind of unsure about. So like, yeah, Vessel Knight, I'm like, I like the concept. I think I like Vessel Knight a lot more than I like Chris Knight, I would say, for one thing. What else? I just this is only going off of like my like vague knowledge, I think, of like the original document of this, but I don't really agree with like the ultimate conclusions that this theory makes. I think from what I remember, it's like more it like, what am I trying to say? It takes a more like aggressive stance towards the player. Not even aggressive. I don't know what I'm trying to say. And like I really like this person's like general analysis and stuff about the game. So I feel like that's not really a fair way to put that. I don't know. Yeah. Like ultimately, I don't think that deltarune is going to punish us for playing the game or for wanting to play the game. I definitely think there's going to be commentary about, like, you know, I mean, like how there already has been commentary on like our relationship with fiction and like escapism and all that. But like ultimately, I don't think that Toby like has such like pessimistic views. I think he's like, you know, he loves games, obviously. So blah blah blah. All that. I agree with a lot of Oblivion Theory. But I don't agree with like I don't agree with like the conclusions largely, I would say. So I'll give it like a 7, I think. I need to read like the new document. I haven't done that yet. What do I think of it as true? I mean, I'm gonna say I like aspects of it. Okay. Another more Undertale adjacent one. I think these next few ones are pretty like Undertale. Like, yeah, okay. Sans, Papyrus, and Gaster are all in the same family tree. As in like they're related. I do, yeah, like this is one of those things that's like very like just like ingrained in like the fandom culture that it's like been here for a while too. So it's like I have trouble imagining this like not to be true really. But I mean, like, I do think it's very fair to say that definitely Sans and Gaster probably have a connection. Just like going off like what is concretely in the game. So yeah, okay, this is like an 8, I think. I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, that is a good point, that it's not like super like, you know, yeah. I don't know, like I said, I think that like at the very least Sans and Gaster probably have a connection, because like how do you explain the Gaster blasters for one thing? But yeah, I mean, what else can I say about this really? Okay. Right, Kara is not the first Fallen Humans canon name. Okay. Yeah. So like the complicated thing about this one is that it's like a yes and no kind of thing. Like their name is Kara, but it's also not. Like it's like, yeah, it can be anything technically. But like it is Kara as well. Technically. I think for me personally, like the thing that like cemented like Kara being called Kara in canon was like that one Toby tweet where he shared concept art that he did, and he like explicitly referred to Kara as Kara. I was like, whoa, you know. So it's like I feel like Toby probably calls them Kara in his head. So I don't know how to feel about this, because I'm not gonna say at the same time like, you know, Kara is like 100% their name, because like I don't know, it's complicated. I'll put this at 5, because it really is complicated. I wouldn't care. Okay, this next one talks about Sans and Blood, which is kind of a can of worms. Okay, what is this specifically saying? this is saying that, okay, this is saying that Sans was using ketchup. I don't really agree with that. The whole like blood conversation is like it's very complicated as well. I'm not sure if like the rest of this forum talks about the other stuff with the blood, or if it's gonna talk about like the Sans being from Deltarune thing. I have opinions on that. This specifically is talking about Sans using ketchup. I don't believe in that. What I'm gonna say now, and like I don't believe this concretely, but I think that like it could have just been a thing where like the blood was added as dramatic effect. Maybe. I don't know. I don't, yeah, the blood thing is annoying, but I kind of don't really want to talk about it right now. So, let's move on. Turn on Sans of Blading. I don't know. I don't know. Okay, this one, this next one makes no sense. I saw this one. That Frisk and Kara are the same person. What is that? What does this even mean? Who thought of this? Like a lot of the story depends on them not being the same person. Like, there's definitely some connections, I guess. I don't really know how else to explain it. Like, this whole, like, the whole thing. This whole thing. I don't know. Nope. Did not mean to click 10. Yeah, reincarnation is, like, the only thing I could think of that would, like, fit. But even then, I don't really know how to feel about that. I mean, like, in general, to get this out of the way, I just prefer to think of Frisk, Kara, and Chris as all different people. So, and I feel like the distinction between Frisk and Kara is, like, you know, specifically pretty important. Like I said, like, a lot of the story depends on the fact that, you know, the twist is that they are not the same person. So, anyway, should I put this at 1? I don't know. There is the reincarnation thing. It's like, sure, maybe. Yeah, it just, that makes no sense. Okay. How long have I been going? An hour and a half almost. Jesus. Okay. I've like barely made it through this at all. Oh my god. I might take like a 3-minute break. Perhaps. Maybe? I feel like I'm gonna be here for a while. So Okay. I'm gonna I'm gonna be right back. Okay, there we go. Did, did everyone leave? I'm back. Okay. Do you mind if I get popcorn? I had it on standby. I'm gonna eat it. I need to get napkins. Hold on. Okay. Time to talk about Kara characterization. Okay. So, okay, what this is saying is that Kara isn't evil. I do have to say, like, over the years, my perception of Kara has, like, it has fluctuated, I would say. And even now, I'm not, like, exactly sure what to make of them in general. But, I do think, like, bottom line, I don't think they're evil. Like, for one, they are a child, or they were a child, as this says. I think that the letter from the ninth anniversary newsletter, really added a lot to Kara as a character. It's funny to say that. It would be even funnier if I said their name like Kara. What was I saying? Like, I think it's very possible that they were hurt as a child, if not, like, outright confirmed. And, like, that on top of everything else, it's just like, yeah, like, they're not evil, I would say. I don't think there are any evil characters in Undertale or Deltarune even. So yeah, like, I feel like, yeah, just like bottom line, there are no evil characters, I would say. Okay, the next one, also car related. Have I gotten to the Rase theories? I've barely gotten through this at all. In general, what am I on? I'm on like the second page, aren't I? I don't know. Anyway. Nera Kara. That's the only time I'll say Kara, I guess, because it rhymes. Okay. How do I feel about Nera Kara? I feel like this is a pretty old theory. Like, what I do think is true is that they definitely do have some narration in the genocide route. So like there is that, definitely. But like Narakara is about like, you know, they are the narrator for the whole game. That's the part where I'm like, that's the part that's questionable to me, cause like, yeah, I feel like a lot of it wouldn't make sense for them, and especially because they do, like, explicitly, I would say, they do have they explicitly do have some narration in the genocide route that it's like, if you take away like the distinction, it's like, well, what was the emphasis for, you know? So I mean, like, it's a fun idea, I guess, in theory, haha, but like ultimately it doesn't make a lot of sense. So I think I'm gonna give it a 4. If it was true. I don't know, it just wouldn't make a lot of sense, is what I'm gonna say. Okay. Toby Fox himself is the narrator in Deltarune. Is this that Andrew Cunningham video? Why is my scroll bar so weird? Yeah, it is. Okay. I've seen this video. I like this video. I mean, it is technically true. Is the thing. I don't know. Like, what can I even say about this? I feel like the thing for me is that, like, a lot of the narration in Deltarune seems like it is from Chris's perspective. So that's why I'm like, I don't know. Like, I feel like genuinely a lot of the narration in Deltarune could be from Chris themselves. Potentially. But, like, if it was, like, literally Toby Fox narrating, it's like, I don't know. I forgot exactly, like, what this video says, like, as a conclusion. I don't know. I feel like you're supposed to treat it as, like, just like a generic narrator, I guess. Like, the narrator is no one, pretty much. Like, except for, like, the idea that, like, it could be Chris in some cases is what I think. I don't know, what do I rate this? I'll rate it a 5. I feel like this isn't really a theory, to be honest. I don't know. This is like an I don't know. Mirror wall. Do I know what this is referring to? Something that the narrator is actually whatever device we seem to be connected to. It's what we're connected to, so it could be what we're reading from. It makes sense in universe. Have I seen it? I feel like I've never seen this, to be honest. Like I think I get what this is saying, but like I feel like it's just like a diegetic explanation for this, basically. I think. But I feel like, I don't know, I feel like it's just like unnecessary at this point to like say that it's like specifically something. Cause like at the end it's basically saying that it's like nothing. I don't know if that made any sense. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just gonna, this is like, 5 is like a I don't know kind of deal again. Okay, depth theory. Probably gonna be pretty partial to this depending on what it says exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Like I pretty much completely agree with this idea. I think that is like, I get why it's on here as a theory because it's not like outright confirmed, but like I feel like it's also just like a stepping stone for other theories. So yeah, but like it is pretty explicit, like as it says, like, you know, the background in the Goner Maker sequence is called image depths after all. And all that. It's just like, yeah. what can I say? It's pretty explicit, I think. Shit. There's like people watching this. Why are you watching this? What is happening? Okay. Dark worlds have been made before. Okay. So I don't think this is exactly the time loop theory, which, spoilers, I do not agree with. But I don't know. The idea that dark worlds have been made before, I feel like, I mean, it's pretty possible, because like, I don't know, just in like a general sense, it would definitely make sense if like the dark worlds that we explore in game weren't like the first ever, because that I feel like that wouldn't make much sense. The thing about like the eyes though, I don't really know what to make of it right now. I feel like that's getting into like the roaring has happened before, which I don't know how to feel about either. Would I rate this? I mean, yeah, this is also specifically talking about Gerson. Saying that Gerson got his ideas from Dark Worlds. I feel like there's definitely something going on with Gerson. I do think that, like, at least the, like, I guess this is only, like, tangentially related to this, but I do think that the papers in the closet were pages from, Lord of the Hammer. I do think that, at the very least, that is the case. But, like, I don't know. Like, Gerson does say he got his ideas from dreams, and the Dark Worlds have been akin or, like, have been related to dreams and all that. And, like, you know, the fact that Toby got the idea for deltarune from a dream in the first place, blah blah blah. Like, I don't know. There's stuff going on, I would say. I don't know how to feel about the, like, this theory exactly. I feel like I've been writing all this, like, fives, because, like, I don't know. But, like, really, I don't know. Like, yeah, it is a case of, like, for this one, I just don't, I feel like we don't have enough information. And, like, in general, but we don't have a lot of information for a lot of this stuff. So, like, I don't know. Yeah. Is there anything I want to say? Not really. How much do I care about this aspect? I feel like this was like a very general topic. So yeah, okay. We've made it through the first main page. Wow. Do I have to do it again? Did I miss something? Okay. Controversial theories. I didn't even know this was a thing. Okay. The first one is Sans' Nest. Okay. What do I even say about this? I've seen this video a very long time ago. What do I even say about this though? I mean, in terms of like actual possibility, I feel like it's very, very low. I do like how Toby kind of like directly referenced it, but I don't know. I don't have much like I view this as a joke basically. I don't really have like any actual opinions, I think. I'd say as I click this option, I mean, I don't know. Oh my god. Stephen after not surviving is on here, holy shit. That's another thing that was directly referenced though. I mean, I have like kind of a soft spot for this one because I do also really like Steven Universe. And at the time, you know, like these were like the two big things I was into at the same time. Blah blah blah. But like, yeah, it's obviously it's. I kind of want to give it a 3. Like I said, I have a soft spot for it, but it's not. It's a joke. Oh my god. Okay. Gas leak theory is on here. I feel like that's just basically this is one. I mean, I think it is a joke, but it's also like kind of earnest, I think. I don't know. I mean, either way, it's just like not it's been deconfirmed at this point. Oh, okay. This next one, yeah, it's pretty bad. Was this an actual video? I feel like I didn't know that. I don't want to watch it. I mean, I don't know if this is a joke, but it's also like it just veers into being like bad and like kind of offensive, I think. I don't know. So okay. I love how this is written. Rule's card has a similar face to Gasser. Maybe they're the same. Yeah. I think that about says that. I mean, in general, I just don't think that Rules has any connection to Gaster. I think that is like something that some people have posited. Yeah, but like I don't think so. Annoying dog is the night. Again, like, in a way, I guess so. If you think about it, but yeah. I don't know, what do I even say? 2, I guess. As expected, these are all pretty controversial. Temmie is the knight. Okay, I've never seen this one before. What do I even rate this? I feel kind of bad rating this like in earnest, but I'm treating it seriously. Okay, next one's kind of a jump scare. This is actually on here. Not Torio's homophobic theory. No. This is another one that's like, no, you know. I don't even want to talk about it. Dark worlds are not real. Yeah, I mean, I do not agree at all with like what exactly this is saying. I do think like to an extent the dark worlds are definitely supposed to be like less real than the light world. So like there is that. Like I mean, I don't agree with this at all, but like do I want to say that like I get where it's coming from? I don't know. I guess I kind of get where it's coming from. Maybe. Yeah. Okay. Right, Undertale is a game. True. Undertale's a game on Deltarune, Azrael's PC theory. What exactly is this saying? Okay, I mean, like, I don't literally think that Undertale is, like, a game on Azrael's PC, if that makes sense. Like, I don't think that's the lore. I do think that, like, it definitely is a reference to Undertale, but I don't think it's literally Undertale. It also makes me think of, I saw some people saying that the Neo body was made by Azrael, which I definitely do not believe in. So there is that as well. I mean, yeah. I'm not sure I understand exactly what you're saying, but like, yeah, basically like how do I organize what I'm trying to say? I don't know. The dark worlds aren't real in a sense, but like they're not. I don't know. You guys know what I mean. Anyway, all this stuff, I don't agree with it in like a literal sense. Okay. It's a direct sequel to Undertale. It's just like this one is flat out incorrect. Putting aside like everything within the game, it's like, you know, directly stated to be an alternate universe, you know, not a sequel. So yeah, it's just this is just obviously untrue. Yeah, for sure. Like, yeah, I definitely don't think that, like, they're literally just, like, making up the Dark World stuff. Or whatever. Like, they're playing D&D or something. I've seen that. Like, I don't agree with that part. Um, yeah, anyway. This one too. No. It just makes no sense. Timeline stuff, etc. Prequel 2, nope. Timeline stuff. Okay. I wasn't really expecting this to be in the controversial section, cause like, it's pretty popular. Okay. So yeah, I mean, the blood is not the only evidence for this. Oh wait, shit. I misread this completely. It says that this is saying that Sans is a darkener. Fuck. You know what I meant, right? I read this as like Sans is from Deltarune. That's completely different. I think that has to be on here, but we have not gone to that yet. Okay, next one I also do not agree with, definitely. Yeah. Yeah. Naked Ralse theory. I've heard this. I don't know. I almost want to give this a higher score because it's funny. It's it's funny and it's not harmful, you know. But I mean, like, on a base level, I do think that, like, in some way, like Ralse and even the other characters are, like, you know, slowly revealing more of themselves. I can't think of a way to say that doesn't sound weird, but yeah, I don't know. Ralse naked. What do I even? I mean, no, but it's funny. Okay, how much do I care? I mean, like, I guess, I don't know, it is like important stuff that if any of this is true, it'd be like, what the fuck, you know? So yeah. Okay. Okay. Upcoming content shit. Alright. And then Flower Shop Dark Road. Okay. Starting easy because I do think this is pretty likely. I definitely think this is like most likely for chapter 5. Like there is a lot of setup with it. I don't know. I mean, I think it's pretty likely. Like, you know, it's where Asgore lives. Asgore's a pretty important character, not just to the story, but to Chris. There's a double door. It was closed in chapter 2. Blah blah blah. I used to be pretty unsure about it, but like I have seen people saying that there could like potentially be like a comic book theme added to it. So like that could be very fun and interesting, I think. So like yeah, I mean the thing with I can't talk. Oh my god. The thing about Chris's family is like I definitely do think that chapter 3 is gonna go a lot into that, but I don't think it's gonna go into it like completely, you know, because that's only chapter 3 out of 7. Like you can't just like completely reveal and resolve information, you know. So like I definitely think there's gonna be more focus on it in future chapters. Yeah, I don't really have anything else to say about it. I just think that it's pretty likely. It's like one of my top contenders for Dark World location. Okay. The police building will be a Dark World location. I've never heard this. I don't think. I mean, like, yeah, I do think that, like, at the very least, Undyne might be coming to the chapter 3 Dark World. At least I hope so. And then I do just, like, hope personally that Bluky will be there too, because they're one of my favorites, but I mean, just talking about, like, the actual building being a Dark World location, that, like, that makes no sense to me. Because, like, why? I don't understand what this would do narratively. Or just, you know. Yeah, I don't know. This is like a 3, I think. Gonna say disappointing. It just doesn't make sense. Okay, QC's diner will be. Why is my scroll thing freaking out? Will be a Dark World. Another one I've never heard before. This talks about Caddy and Jockington. I do definitely think that Caddy and Jockington probably will be in a Dark World in general. Probably even chapter 4, if we're being honest. But like, QC's diner? Specifically, I don't know where that came from. Yeah, what do I even say about that? Like, that just is another one that doesn't really make any sense. I feel like someone was just saying, like, I don't know, someone was just throwing out random locations. I feel like this makes even less sense than the police one, to be honest. I don't know, I just think it'll like be a primarily light world thing, not a dark world location. So yeah. Okay. The next one was Icy's. I was wondering if it would be on here. Um okay. I want to put this one lower, but like I have kind of a bias towards it just because of the fucking Burger Fans video. The Burger Fans Icy video. But like, yeah, it doesn't make sense narratively, I think. I mean, like, I guess the Burger Fans video kind of like incorporates it in a way that makes sense, but like, I don't think so. For a Dark World location, I mean, like, I mean, Icy itself is definitely like something, but Icy's Pizza being a Dark World location, I don't know. Chapter count? I don't think so. Is that about how like there might be more chapters? I have some thoughts about that. I don't think we did that yet. I kind of forgot though. Anyway, this I'll give it like a 3. Okay. Sans is the location will be an upcoming Dark World. Again, I don't think so. Like I feel like a lot of these are locations that are important to the light world, but are not necessarily going to be a Dark World location. I mean, there is stuff with Sans himself that like I kind of already touched on, but like the shop itself, I don't know, man. I don't think so. Oh my goodness, Sans' house. We got everything. I basically feel the same way as the previous one. I haven't played it yet, but isn't that what The Upper Hand is about? Like the fan game? Might be. I mean, it's a fun idea, I guess, but I don't think this is gonna actually be the case in any way. I would say this is pretty bad. Okay, hospital. This is more likely than the previous ones, I would say. I do know that people thought that the Chapter 2 Dark Worlds would be the hospital, which is like kinda fair, I would say. And again, this is also fair, kinda. I just don't know which chapter it would be. Yeah, I mean, I have something very specific to talk about. I noticed this, I think, when I was doing the LTS testing. The the wallpaper in the hospital rooms, they're like decorated with like seahorses for some reason. And I just thought that was so random. I was like, why is that there? Why is it seahorses out of all things? And like the reason I bring that up is like, I think like the only way that that could be like relevant is that if like, I don't know, like the hospital dark world, a potential one could be like, yeah, like an ocean thing. I don't know though. I mean, yeah, I guess it could just be like a general ocean motif or water motif, because that is definitely something that is going on in the game in general. Anyway, the probability in general of the hospital, I want to say like 6. I think the one problem is like when, you know? So yeah. Wouldn't be too surprised. Okay. Town hall. Yeah, like the only evidence I think for this is like the mayor's importance. I'm kind of getting ahead of myself with this, but I do think that like the mayor is kind of a pretty prime candidate for the knight position, I think. But that's like the only thing. Like, what else? Why is the town hall an option here? I don't know. I'll go with 4. That just also does not make too much sense. Okay, bunker, dark world. This is like, I feel like this is basically what it's gonna be. You know, I guess the one thing is that like, what was I gonna say? Bunker. Oh yeah, like I feel like the bunker could possibly lead to the deaths in some way. I'm not sure. I mean, either way, it's important. It's very like, it's very gastery. Yeah, it's like, probably. It's just like, yeah. I think it's definitely gonna be a dark world. It's just like in what form that is, I'm unsure of. Yeah. But I'll put it at 9. It feels very like chapter 7, 6, you know, endgame type shit. Okay, next one is church. Basically confirmed. What? I feel like I have to sneeze. I'm fine. Okay. Yeah. Church Dark World has basically been confirmed now. I was a Church Dark World truther before the trailer and everything, but yeah, like the trailer and the website basically confirm it. I feel like what else can I even say? It's canon. Like, not to mention all of the lore shit that we're probably gonna get, and yeah, like the religion escapism. I've seen some people be surprised or like think that it wouldn't make sense for there to be like commentary on religion in this game, when like there is so much religious imagery already. It's like, why do you think that would come out of left field, you know? It's like it's already there, you know, even in Undertale somewhat. But yeah, the graveyard. Okay, I feel like the graveyard could be like a part of the Church Dark World, because it's like right next door, you know? It's like right outside. So like, I'm gonna put this at 9, but only in relation or like in context with Church Dark World, I think. I'm in for the long haul here. I honestly, I do not have a ton of homework this weekend. So that's why I'm doing this now. Okay. The lake. This is kind of interesting. I mean, this is talking about the lake, like specifically being a Dark World location. And that's the part I'm like unsure about. Like, I definitely think there is something going on with the lake. Like we already talked about, like all of the ocean shit, the water shit, like that, and then the song from the sea. Like, there's something going on with the lake, but it being a Dark World location doesn't really make much sense, I would say. So I'll put it at 4, I think. Okay. The festival will be a Dark World. I kind of fuck with this. I mean, like, with all the newsletter shit, I've gotten like more and more confused as to like when the festival will take place, cause it's looking more like it will take place in chapter 5, and I don't think the roaring is gonna happen in chapter 5, you know? So like, yeah, I do like really, I do agree with the festival or the roaring happening at the roaring happening during the festival. That makes a lot of sense. I feel like there's been a lot of build up to that, and like, yeah. I feel like there's gonna be, or like the roaring was already kind of described as like a converging of the light world and the dark world. And I feel like it would make perfect sense for that to happen when we have like all of the characters in one space together, you know? So like, yeah, it makes a lot of sense to me. But there are a few problems, I think. So I just realized this is Dark World specifically, not roaring. But I've been talking about the roaring. I mean, I'm just gonna think about this in the context of the roaring. So, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I've heard people talk about the roaring possibly having happened before. I'm not really sure how I think about that. But anyway, yeah, okay, this is talking about Noelle's house being a Dark World location. I feel like that's basically been deconfirmed. Cause like, people talk about this being like chapter 4, and it's like pretty dang clear that the chapter 4 Dark World is gonna be the church at this point. So like, yeah, and I just don't think it would fit anywhere else. So like, yeah, just not very likely anymore. Caddy's house. Okay. Do I even have to say anything? This makes no sense. I like how it says Caddy with a Y, because she's like less important. But okay. I do think Caddy with an I will be important, but Caddy's house being a Dark World location makes no sense at all. They got the whole town on here. Oh my gosh, the next one's even worse. Braddy's house. I don't even... What do you even say about this? Okay. And then the apartments. Like it says here, I do definitely think that, Susie probably lives in one of the apartments. I don't think that she's homeless personally. I think she just like has neglectful parents. But that's kind of unrelated. I think it'll be like marginally important in the light world, but like it doesn't really make sense for it to be a Dark World location. So yeah. Okay, now I have to think. Now I have to write what I think each chapter for. I can't talk. I have to write what I think each chapter's Dark World is gonna be. Wow, we even have 8, 9, 10, and 0 here. Okay. So for 4, it's gonna be a church, obviously. 5, probably Flower King. 6 is like what I'm unsure about. I'm gonna say festival, just like out of convenience, I think. And then 7, probably bunker. It's like, these are the ones I'm unsure about, but. And then, okay, 8, 9, 10, and 0. Yeah. Yeah, like I've seen the video that talks about this. I think it's really interesting, and like I wouldn't write it off completely that there could be more chapters. Like one of the only things that holds me back though is like I just can't see, I don't know, I just can't see Toby being able to make more past 7. But yeah, I do think 0 is like kind of plausible, but like only if it was like a flashback chapter, you know, like I've seen people saying that. So yeah, but like Dark World locations, I don't even know, so I'm not gonna say anything. Okay. Now I have to click. Now I have to select each character I think is gonna appear in the Dark Worlds from 3 to 7. Okay. There is like everyone here. I'll just go top down, I guess. Alphys, I don't think so. Is there anything more I can say about that? I mean, like, as a baseline, I don't think a lot of Undertale characters are gonna have much prominence outside of Chris's family, because that's what makes sense narratively. But I think like if Deltarune is trying to be separate from Undertale, it really makes no sense to like focus on Undertale characters again, because like they have their own game, and like I do think there is gonna be some focus, but it's gonna be very small, and it's gonna be exclusively in the Light Worlds probably. So yeah, all that being said, QC, again, probably not. I know she is like one of the important people, but like it seems pretty unlikely. I don't even know why Gerson is here. He is under a grave in some form. Okay, Caddy is pretty likely. Caddy with an I. I do think that Caddy's probably gonna be in the chapter 4 Dark World, and then yeah, I'll say Jockington too. In the same, they're kind of a package deal anyway. Monster Kid and Snowy I'll put again as like a pair. I don't think so. I mean, everyone points out the fact that they don't have dialogue sprites or voices. I forgot what it's called. But like that is kind of a big piece of evidence, I think, for them not being super duper important. So yeah, and then Temmie, same thing. Asgore, I think, is pretty likely. Especially if we get a Flower King Dark World. And then Rudolph, they put his full legal name here. Probably not. We had the whole debate earlier on whether or not he's gonna die, and I feel like it is pretty likely he will, TBH. So I feel like, yeah, it's not super likely. Okay. But then Bloogie and Undyne. I do think Undyne's pretty likely at this point. I mean, like, I think the one reservation I've had is like, what relevance does Undyne have just like in general and like within like, you know, like specifically chapter 3 stuff, you know? I think like one of like the reasonings, I guess, could be that like, you know, she's a cop, she's gonna be trying to like bust the crime that is happening if Tenna is a criminal, which he probably is. So like that is one thing. And then like it's the same thing with Blookie kinda. I have to say yes again selfishly because I really like them. I think they're neat. And then Pizza Pants. I think it's pretty unlikely. I was more concerned about the next option here though. Is Tenna male? He does use he, him pronouns. So that's why I used he, him pronouns. So yeah. Anyway, Sans Undertale. That is the one thing. I mean, I can basically repeat my whole spiel about the Undertale characters. I don't think they're gonna be in the Dark World necessarily. So I'm gonna say no to Sans. Not Bratty or Caddy, the older one. Father Alvin is something. Especially because Church Dark World has like basically been confirmed. I feel like it's pretty likely actually. Maybe? I guess, I don't know. How many extra extra lighteners would we have in the chapter 4 Dark World at that point? 3? I mean, I guess chapter 3 is probably gonna have 3 as well. So it's not out of the question, but like... I don't know. And there is Alvin Knight to consider. I'm gonna say yeah, actually. I'm gonna say yes. Asriel? I don't think so, to be honest. Do I? I don't know. I'm not sure. I mean, it would obviously only happen in like the last chapter. I'm gonna say no for now. But Toriel is basically confirmed. Des? Probably. I do think that Des is probably in the depths. So like saying she's in a dark world or saying she's gonna be in a dark world is like not that out there to say. So I'm gonna say yeah. And then Noel's mom again, I think is pretty likely actually. I mean, I don't know how that would happen necessarily, but like I do think the mayor is going to be pretty important, and like again, she is one of my personal prime suspects for the night. Anyway, Mew Mew mentioned I don't think she's going to be there. Neither is Metaton. Gaster, how do I answer that? Like physically in the dark world? I'm gonna assume that means that, you know. So like, I don't know, how do I answer this? I think he's gonna be in the dark world in some form. I just don't think it's gonna be physically necessarily, if that makes sense. I don't know how else to explain that. Like, I just can't really imagine like Gaster just like appearing and like confronting us, or the other way around. Like, yeah, I'm gonna say no, and then say for no for Papyrus as well. Oh my god, I have to do all that again. Hold on. I'm sorry, Papyrus Night Truthers. Okay, anyway. We did kind of mention this earlier. Again, I have seen this video. Really interesting. I mean, the thing with like the like Snowgrave exclusive audio files, that's probably gonna either get proven or debunked within the next chapters, I think. So that's something, but like, I don't know. Yeah, just like the general idea of there being 10 chapters, I don't really believe in. Like I said, I already kind of talked about this. I do think like there could be a chapter 0 potentially. So yeah. What do I think? I mean, like, I can't really say I would be disappointed if there was more than 7, you know, because that would be more content, but like, I don't know. Okay, there will only be 5 chapters. Okay, yeah. This talks about how Toby hasn't talked about 6 and 7. I do think that is kind of weird, but I think he technically has, like, kind of indirectly mentioned them recently. Like, what do you say? I forgot. He was like, there are more there there are more chapters, plural, being worked on, and that was like in reference to chapters past 4. So that is like, you know, confirmation that there will be more than chapter 5. Anyway, like, yeah, Toby hasn't talked about it, but like, that's what the menu says. You know? So like, yeah. Eh, yeah. Also, yeah, like 10 chapters would just take forever. I would probably be like I would probably be middle-aged at that point. um okay. Isn't this basically just the other theory? What I say, I mean, yeah, it's the same. I think, kinda. I mean, it is slightly different, I guess. But I feel the same, I would say, about this. Okay, yeah, it does mention chapter 0 here specifically. I mean, like, the thing with more chapters is that, like, you have to know when to, like, not draw out a story too, you know? But, yeah. Chapter 0, I do think is, like, more likely. Because, like, so much of the game's, like, story relies on, like, shit that happened before the game, like, happened, if that makes sense. So, like, I do think, like, a flashback chapter, even if it wasn't, like, technically playable, I've heard people say that would be cool, I think. So, yeah, I'm pretty partial to this. I guess I wouldn't be surprised. Okay. Dark world locations are under locations in reverse, blah blah blah. I like kind of believe this in some form. I do think, like, at the very least, the Card Kingdom was, like, kind of a parallel to the end of Undertale, sort of. That is, like, something I picked up on when I first played it. So, like, there is that, and then, like, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this, really. I more so believe in, like, the thing with, like, the secret bosses and, like, the soul modes, and, like, that pattern could be, like, kind of reversed. But this is different. I don't... I'll say 4. I'm not too big on this, personally. Yeah, like, the church wouldn't really make sense unless it was, like... I mean, potentially the church could be Waterfall. That kind of makes sense, to be honest. But I don't know, as a whole, it just it's like kind of restricting, I think, is like one thing. But yeah. Dark clock theory. Is this like, is this that one Jaro video? Maybe? It is. Okay. Whoa. I watched this. I remember watching it. That came out almost a year ago. Jesus Christ. Anyway. Yeah, like, basically what it's saying is that, like, the times of the clocks in the school are, like, inconsistent, and, like, they kind of point, not really, to the dark world locations. That's the thing. It's like, they don't really point, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, I don't know. It's like a 3, I think. Okay, I made it through this page. Okay, this is blah. I'm like, I don't even remember what this is about. It was about the dark world locations. That's pretty important, I would say. Okay. Susie theories. Okay. Yeah, this one is pretty much canon. Like I said, I don't think she's homeless. I do think she has a bad home life. Yeah. Do I, like, what else do I even say about that? It's like pretty much it's true. Probably. Okay, Susie's from a human community theory. I've heard this. Basically, like, yeah, like the whole thing with this is that it would be like a parallel to Chris. And like, I think it is good for that part, but like, I don't know. There is other stuff about like Susie like really referencing like human culture and all that. So I think that also fits into it. Overall, I'm like not, I don't know, I'm not super big on this one. I don't know. I just, like, how would it really impact the story outside of like the parallel is the thing. I feel like it wouldn't really. So I'm gonna give it a 5. I can't see my cursor. Okay. Okay. Susie has no home, like I said. Why? I don't think this is true. Like, there is that one, like, unused question mark room in the apartments that is probably Susie's. So, like, yeah, I don't think she's homeless. At the same, would I care? I don't know. I'm trying to think of like why specifically it doesn't make sense. There is like, I feel like there's too many references to her like having a home. Like, this is really specific, but like she talks about like the black crumbs from the toaster and like, you know, like the remote and the couch and all that. That is like, you would kind of have to like have a home to be familiar, I would say. I mean, kinda, I guess. I don't know. I mean, at the end of the day, I do think she has had it rough, but yeah. Okay, next one is Susie's half human. I don't really like this. It wouldn't really make any sense. Like, they talk about the unused bleeding sprite, which is like a whole thing. That is like, I do think it is unused for a reason. All that, yeah, like this one is just not very, just does not make a lot of sense. Why is this a theory? Why is this next one a theory? Chris likes Susie romantically theory. I do think Chris likes Susie a lot. I do think that is true. I don't know, I just feel like this gets into like shipping territory, which I was like not really prepared to speak on. But like in terms of like, I don't know. Yeah, like there is a lot of evidence for Chris like really liking Susie. Like they like Susie a lot. Even before the game. Like Chris never took Susie's bullying seriously. For one thing, I think they always like respected her to some extent. Yeah, all that. But like romantically, what do I even say? I don't really ship Cruzy. Is what I'm trying to say. Romantically, I really like their relationship platonically, but I feel like there isn't enough in-game evidence to say for sure that Chris likes Susie romantically. So I'm gonna put it as a 2, just for like a, you know, like concretely saying something like, you know, you should be free to ship whatever you want, but like in terms of a theory, it's like not, you know. Okay, those were the only Susie theories. I would say I care about Susie. Okay, I need to go get a new drink. I drank my whole drink. And we're about to talk about Ralse. That's gonna be spicy. Okay. Right off the bat, just like blatantly untrue, I think. Man, this was like something I immediately picked up on. I was like, Ralse is similar to Azriel, but it would not make any sense if Ralse was literally Azriel. Like, I don't know, like, just on the basis of like, age and appearance. Azriel is supposed to be in college. He would look older, you know? So, yeah, I just, no. Okay. Green crayon theory. So this is like, it is kind of similar to red headband theory, which is next. I don't know. I think this could be possible, but in the sense of like he's more than the crayon. Like he could be multiple things potentially. But on its own, it's like not that, you know. I'm not a huge fan of this, to be honest. Just on its own. But I have more opinions about red headband, I think. Yeah, like I think red headband theory has a lot more relevance to like Chris and like what am I trying to say? Like the headband represents Chris's like longing to fit in. So like that being expressed through Ralse definitely makes a lot of sense to me. And like the fact that it's like immediately pointed out in chapter 1 too is like something, and Toriel's even like, wherever did it go or whatever. It's like there has to be something with that, you know. So yeah, it's like it's pretty likely. Ultimately, I do think that there is something that makes Ralse special that's kind of just like canon already. We just don't know what it is. So it's like it's probably more than just he is the red headband. But I feel like this as like a base for something else is like, it's like a good starting point, you know? It makes sense and all that. Oh my goodness. Well, look what's next. Piles. um, okay, what do I say about this? Well, I'll start. It's bad. It's bad. I technically haven't. I've watched it technically, but I've only watched it like via watching the stream where Andrew Cunningham watched it. What do I even say about this? It's memed so much. Oh yeah, the Sybil's video. I did watch that as well. It's like, and I feel like she put it more in a way that made more sense. That like wasn't as bad. But like, you know, this is talking about the video. I feel like it starts off relatively grounded, but then it just spirals out of control. I feel like the worst part about it is the explanation for Snowgrave, cause like what it basically says is just like, we're controlling Azrael, who is controlling Chris, and it's like, well, why did you even have to come to the conclusion that it was Azrael in the first place if it's gonna be us in the end again? Like, it's it makes no sense. Yeah, it's bad for several reasons. Azrael trauma spectrum, not great. Not great. What more can I say about it? It's not good. It's, yeah. I mean, like, yeah, I do think that in some way, Rouse is definitely, like, not a parallel, but, like, has some kind of, like, meta connection to Flowey. Because, like, we can assume that Rouse is, like, in some way connected to Azrael. So it's, like, you know, that and, like, I mean, like, Rouse literally quotes Flowey, all that, blah blah blah. Like, I get, like, some parts of the baseline, you know, but, like, yeah. Anyway, Rouse is Chris's knife. I've seen this. I don't really agree. Like, I only, like, somewhat like this for the reasoning that, like, it's something that's, like, always on Chris, supposedly. Like, that would explain a lot about Rouse and, like, how he's able to do the things that he does if he was, like, always on Chris. But, like, being the knife specifically is, like, you know, it doesn't make a lot of sense. Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I definitely think that Flowey is supposed to be a parallel of the player, but like, I'm also saying that like Ralph Say could potentially, I don't want to say paralleling, but like he could potentially have some kind of a connection to Flowey as well, in some way, shape, or form. Like there is that one thing that Toby said about like always about Ralph Say always being associated with flowers, and he's like that hasn't happened. Blah blah blah, all that. Yeah. Anyway, knife. I don't think so. Okay. Ross is hometown as a Darkner. I think I've seen this as well. I don't like, I get where this is coming from. I'm like, how would this work? How would this work logistically, for one thing? You know? I don't know. Yeah. Explains how he knew the layout of the school and the name of Chris and Susie. I think he knew the name of Chris and Susie for a different reason. I wonder if that's gonna be on here. But like, yeah, I get where this is coming from, but like, no, I don't think so. Okay, the next one is like basically Rossi, especially because of the Grand Fountain. It's like basically canon. It's just like we don't know the specifics, you know? Like, we know that he's special because of the Grand Fountain, because it's made out of pure darkness, as it says here. So like, yeah, all that, but like, yeah. What am I saying? Yeah, it's just we don't know like why. We don't know what pure darkness is. We don't know why it's special and all that, but like what this is saying is basically true. So yeah. Okay. I'll say it's special because it's something else. What does this mean? Okay, I don't really get what this is saying. I mean, it's basically saying that Ralse is like lying, which I think is that gets into like, is Ralse evil? Blah blah blah. Hello. What is this saying? I don't understand. I don't know. I'm gonna say 2. This like makes no sense to me. The next one. Rouse is the river person from Undertale. I don't think this is true. I think that, like, Toby literally said that, like, he just liked drawing cloaked figures. So, I think that's just the extent of it. I think that Toby just kind of likes certain design motifs. This makes no sense. Okay, Ralse's evil theory. Yeah, I just don't agree with this at all. Like whenever I watch a playthrough of chapter 2, everyone is so distrusting of Ralse. They're like, he's so evil. I'm like, oh my goodness, guys, calm down. Yeah, like I definitely think what do I think? I think that like he is committed to the prophecy. So, you know, I feel like that's the worst thing that he does, is that he's so committed to this prophecy. He's so committed to being a Darkner that he tries to like force that on other Darkners, and he tries to like force the prophecy too on Chris and Susie. But even that is like not bad or evil in any way. And like, you know, the whole thing about him like potentially withholding information is like certainly possible. I don't know. I'm personally of the belief that Gaster in some way communicated with Ralse. That Gaster relayed the prophecy to Ralse. So like there is all that. And like, yeah, I don't think he's evil in any way. Like that, what would that even do, like, narratively, you know? It's just, I don't know, it's just bad. Okay, this is talking about Ralse and the player. So like I definitely do think he cares about the player in some way. Not even necessarily in a sense of caring, but in a sense of like, you know, knowing there's like an otherworldly being in the equation that he is like aware of. Okay, like I wanted to know, like in relation to Chris, what does this mean? Because I don't want to say that Ralse doesn't care about Chris, you know? But like, I don't know, I think he could care about both of us, ultimately. I mean, like, if anything, I feel like Ralse cares about Chris more as like a person, you know? But he is just like I said, he's like, he knows that there's like a deity here. So he's like, you know? I don't really know how to explain that, but what do I say? He definitely knows about us. Like, there's that whole thing with like the Susie sequences. Like, he's trying to get us away, and he's talking to Chris. So like, he cares about Chris too. But it's saying Ralse cares more about the player. I don't know. I'll give this a 5. I'm just confused about like what exactly this means. Ralse cares about Chris theory. Yeah, like basically everything I just said. I think that Ralsei cares about Chris. I just like, I don't think there's like necessarily he cares about something more. I mean, I don't know. It's a different kind of care. There we go. I think that's what I mean to say. I'm gonna say yeah. And then the next one. I don't think so. I don't think so. That Chris hates Ralsei. And the evidence for this is from the tea, which is stupid because like I forgot the exact values, but I'm pretty sure it's only like, I think it's only like 10 less than Noelle. And Noelle is like Chris's childhood friend who they're like pretty close with, you know? So it's like, I feel like, no, I don't think Chris even like dislikes Ralsei. I think at the most they're like a little uncomfortable because like A, they just met, B, he does look like their brother, so like there is all that. I don't think they hate him. That just doesn't make any sense. Okay, that was all of the Ralsei theories. Like I said, I'm pretty big on that like Gaster shit in relation to Ralsei. I don't know if that's gonna come up later, but yeah. Do you mean Noelle? Because like, yeah, I am aware that Chris and Noelle are not like, you know, in the moment as close as they were, but they're still like friends to an extent, you know? Anyway. I wonder, okay, no, we have Chris, obviously we have Chris first. I was like, is Noelle gonna be next? Oh, and the thing is, like, I feel like Chris is, like, somewhat comfortable around Ralsei because they do, like, joke with him. There is that thing with, like, one of the rings. I forgot which ring it was, but, like, the dialogue when you give it to Ralsei is, like, are you proposing to me? So, like, clearly they're, like, joking around with him and all that. But anyway... Okay. Coming in with kind of a bang here. Chris's car theory. I have opinions on this. Basically, I disagree with it. I do think that Chris is like meant to remind us of Kara. Like, I mean, there's a ton of shit. They do look similar and all that. But like, the thing for me is like the association with the chocolate and the knives, cause like in the like 2016 era Undertale fandom, like Kara's only characterization was like chocolate and knives. That was like their two personality traits. And I feel like Chris's liking of chocolate and knives is like kind of meant to comment on that. Like, it's supposed to make you think of Kara, but ultimately they are not Kara. I'm pretty sure. I said this before, I do think that Chris, Frisk, and Kara are all different characters, just completely different people. Right now I don't necessarily know why there is like being like similarities made, but like they're just similarities. I think they're not the same person. That's the bottom line. Okay, yeah, the next one, first was Chris. I personally, again, I don't really agree. Like, I feel like I'd be more comfortable with it than Chris being Kara, but like, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, like, in some ways, like, they're kind of not a literal combination, but they're kind of a combination of Frisk and Kara, and I feel like that's like what it was. I feel like that was the intention. I mean, it would kind of be the other way around, because like Chris was made first in development, blah blah blah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really agree with it, but like I do like it more than the Kara connection. So, yeah. Okay. I mean, the next thing is kind of what I was talking about, but like I assume in a more literal sense. Maybe not. Because I basically agree with this in like a symbolic way. So, I'm gonna give this a 6, I think. Honestly, like I said, I'm thinking. Yeah, I think this is what it was. I think this is what Toby had in mind. Just again, not in a literal sense, but like in a way. Okay, this next one, goodness gracious. Chris, Frisk, and Kara are all the same person. It's like the one from before, but worse. I mean, that is like basically the opposite of what I believe in. So, yeah. just doesn't make any sense. Okay, Chris is a new character. Basically what I think. They have similarities, but yeah, exactly. They're just Chris, I think. Okay. Chris is one of the other human souls. Okay, I mean, this description is talking about something completely different, I think. Kinda. Okay, I mean, this is basically proposing that, like... Okay, this is saying that, like... that it's like an alternate timeline, I guess, where Azrael would never die, but the timeline would still be fucked up. That doesn't make any sense. I mean, like, I think the only, like, likely-ish thing in this is Chris having a different soul, potentially. But, like, I don't think they are one of the other human souls from Undertale. I don't know. There's just... There's a lot in this I don't like. Okay. Chris is a vessel theory. This is where they came from? The bunker? Okay, I mean... I definitely think that they had an experience with the bunker. I don't think they came from the bunker and that they're a vessel that I assume Gaster made. That makes no sense. Like, I think it was just that there's a lot, I guess. Like, the bunker incident was probably something to do with Jess. And then I also think that it was like something with Gaster and like connecting us to them. Blah blah blah. But like this, what is this talking about? I disagree. Okay. Chris is a half-human theory. It's like the reverse of that Susie theory. Wait, the file name for Chris's soulless form are the same as the file name for Asgore's eyes in Undertale? I have never heard that. What does that even mean? What's the file name? What? Okay, I'm gonna hydrate. I think I'm gonna look that up. Do y'all know about this? I have never heard this. I cannot find what this is talking about. I'm a little interested in what it's saying with the file name, but like, in general, it's just, this doesn't make any sense, I think. I think that like being a human is it's a pretty important part of their identity, I would say. So I feel like if you took that away from them, it just like, you know, what's the point? Okay. Crystal walking corpse theory. Yeah, I mean, I've seen this. I feel like it has some appeal. But like, I don't know. The reason that Chris is unstable without their soul is that like, it has been directly stated that the soul contains, you know, someone's life force or whatever they put it, however they put it. So like, I don't know. I feel like that's not really a piece of evidence. Because, you know, the reason they walk around like a zombie without a soul is because they don't have their soul in the moment, you know. So, yeah, I don't know. At the same time, I feel like it's not completely out there. But there's also just not much evidence right now either. So okay. These next ones talk about the soul. So it's either that the red soul is Chris's soul, or that the red soul is us. Yeah, like, I honestly never really thought too deeply about this, but I do think that Chris's soul is their soul. I think like the one thing that is like kind of suspicious is that like at the very beginning their status just is like, oh, what does it say exactly? It's like human contains a soul or whatever. I forgot exactly what it says, but that is like, yeah, it's like kind of suspicious wording. But at the end of the day, I do think it is their soul and that we're just possessing it. I don't necessarily think it makes sense for the red soul to be like literally us or literally our soul. So yeah, like, I think this is what makes the most sense to me. What piece of evidence? The status thing? Yeah. I personally think it's a little weird. Yeah, I mean, like, I think I get what it's trying to say ultimately. So, there was something with the Japanese translation too, I think, though. I forgot what that was, though. Anyway, what is this? Is this like a Jaru thing? I don't even know what to say about this. I Okay. uh Players controlling Chris only in the meta narrative. Okay, I mean, I mean, like, I guess so. But, like, also, I don't know. I am a pretty strong believer in player angel. And that's what this mentions. And that is, like, something that could be, like, you know, we don't exist, but the angel exists. That's, like, kind of what I see it as already, but, like, I guess in the sense of like the meta narrative would be the same that it was in Undertale. I'm like, yeah, but is the next one similar? No, not really, but I don't know how to feel about this. Maybe it's just like the wording. I'll put it as 5 because it's like, yeah, it's like, yeah, I guess so, but I mean, I've seen some people say that Noelle is literally the angel, which I disagree with. I think that she certainly has connections with the angel, but I don't think she's literally the angel. So, I mean, even then, I'm like, are we literally the angel? I don't know. But, yeah. Okay, I don't know. Okay. Chris themselves summoned something and now it's controlling them. That part I agree with. But then it says some people believe Chris summoned us by some means, but not with the intentions of getting control. That part I kind of don't agree with. I definitely think they intentionally summoned something, aka us. I do think that, you know, all the demon summoning shit with them is like lore important. I never really thought about this, but like maybe they were like they were summoning Gaster and then Gaster connected us. Perhaps. I don't know. Just spitballing, I guess. But it's like I do think they wanted their life to be taken over to an extent, because I think that they were just like so done with life that like they didn't want to have, they didn't, what am I trying to say? They wanted someone else to make choices for them, basically. Because I think they feel like, oh my god, what am I saying? I think they were done. I think they were done with their life and they wanted direction, basically. But, you know, to an extent, they might regret it now. Because they do, like, act on their own without us and all that. So, like, I agree with the first half of this, but, like, I don't know. Not so much the second half. But like I can see it working, I think, with the way that it's presented here. Okay. Second's talking about Des and Chris trying to save Des. I pretty much believe this. For multiple reasons, really, because I do think, like, very strongly that Chris was, like, there when Des disappeared, and that Chris, like, more or less knows what happened to her, more or less, like I just said. Blah blah blah. So I feel like they have some form of survivor's guilt. It's just like, does that really explain their actions right now? Maybe? I don't know. One of the things is, like, I do think that Des will be, like, a part of the main narrative. And so, like, by tying her to, like, other plot threads, it just makes sense, you know? That's why I'm more partial to night theories that are, like, more Des involved, because I just think it makes sense to tie together different, unrelated, seemingly plot threads. So ultimately, yeah, I think they are in some way, maybe. Yeah, okay, this is like just what I was just talking about. Finder is just referring how he finds, I mean, I don't really agree with this part, but like, I do think that Chris, like, in some way knows what happened to Des. I think that part is true. I think that would be preferable, even. Okay, what is this next theory? Terra theory? Am I having a stroke? I cannot comprehend this sentence at all. Okay, I'm just gonna I don't understand that. I feel like I've heard of this. Maybe? I don't know, though. What is this even saying? Okay, player is bad theory. That's pretty much just not I feel like the only way this could be like true is with Snowgrave. And that's even just on like kind of technicality. Sort of. But like just I don't know. Again, like being antagonistic towards the player in discussion for this game is just like I don't like it. I don't like it. It just doesn't, for one, it just doesn't make any sense, you know? Like who's to say that like, cuz we didn't ask to be put in Chris either, you know? So yeah, it's just no. Okay. I've been streaming for almost 4 hours. It's pretty late as well. Oh goodness. Okay. I might end the stream here and I'll probably continue this at a later time, I will say. Yeah. Jeez, people actually watch this shit. What the hell? Why are you doing that? Yeah. I think this saves. I hope it saves. That would be really annoying. I mean, I guess I could just like watch this stream again and fill it out again if I had to. But, yeah, I think this is where I'm gonna end it though. I think it saves. I don't know. It's not the end of the world. Like I said, I could redo it if I had to. But, okay. Yeah, I think that's it. For now, anyway. I forgot how much left of the form there is. But like I said, I'll finish it in a stream probably. I don't know when that stream's gonna be. But, oh, you have to reveal it? Yeah, okay, well, we'll see what happens, but, okay. Anything else I want to say? I don't know. Thanks for watching, I guess. If you're new, I have some other deltarune stuff on my channel. Yeah, it's late. My brain is kind of fried at this point. Okay. Yeah. I think that's all I have to say. Okay. I forgot how to do this. Okay. No, I know what I'm doing. Goodbye.